Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Masterclass on Bajaj Finserv Atom CEO Challenge Season 8. Today we have Aditya and Sajal. Welcome, Aditya and Sajal. Aditya and Sajal, who were the national winners of Season 8 Atom CEO Challenge. So today they will be discussing about their winning strategies of multiple rounds associated with Season 9. And before going into it, they'll also talk about the structure of this year's season. Welcome, team. Would like to have a brief introduction to of you guys, and then we have a small video for all the audience so that they catch up more about what is Season 9 and how to go about it, and then we can start the presentation. Over to you guys.
So, hi guys, thank you all for joining, especially on a Saturday in the morning. So, hi, I'm Aditya Sehgal. So, we are both from XLRI Delhi. By background, I'm a fresher, did my bachelor's in management studies from Delhi University. Post that, directly joined XLRI. I did my summer internship at Amazon in the general management domain. And in the second year, I took part in the Bajaj Atom CEO Challenge, got a PPA from that. And so now I've joined Bajaj Finserv Group. I joined as a Jiva LP, and specifically in Bajaj Finserv, I'm in the Bajaj Finance company, working in the design thinking team in the personal space. So over to you, Sajal.
Hi everyone, I'm Sajal. I'm an engineer. After my engineering, I have around 4 years of experience as an SAP consultant. Prior to that, I joined XLRI Delhi, and in second year, I participated in Bajaj Atom Challenge. After that, I got in PPO, and currently, I'm working in Bajaj Finance in outsourcing and compliance department.
Thank you, team. Now we'll head to the video.
It started with a click. One registration. One idea scribbled in the middle of the night. One team saying, let's give this a shot. Then came the brainstorming, the coffee, the rewrites, the this won't work, the wait, this just might. Ideas became pitches. Pitches became solutions. Solutions became something worth remembering. 8,800 plus registrations, 2,100 plus teams, hundreds of ideas that refused to stay on paper. Some challenged convention, some solved real business problems. Some made the jury stop and say, now that's interesting. Mentors questioned, teams defended. Founders were born. This wasn't just another B-school competition. This was Atom Season 8. And now, Season 9 is ready to raise the bar. Bigger challenges, sharper competition, higher stakes. The only question is, will your idea be the one everyone remembers? Registrations now open.
Great to see the video of Season 8. It was filled with so much of different ideas and interesting catch-up among the national finalists. So now talking about Season 9, so what are the different rounds associated to it, and what do you think that this time, what difference is it? How is it different from Season 8? And how students should prepare about Season 9? Over to you, Sajal.
So so we'll be sharing our first round, the seed pitch round presentation. And before to that, I think let me give you an idea about that this year, how is it going to be. So first round is the seed pitch round, and then after that, once you submit the presentation, then you'll have to present it to the jury. Then the second is the Series A round. After that, you'll be having a jamming session. We'll talk about that while we'll be presenting that how important is jamming session. And then there will be Series B round and the grand finale. So this year, the difference is that first year and second year have different track, and so that's really helpful for first year students because they'll be going on there, they'll be competing with first year students only till the Series B round. So I think that give them a edge this time, because earlier how it used to be that first year and second year have the same track till the end. I think that was
So,
the overall structure of the Bajaj Atom this time.
yeah, thank you, Sajal. Thank you for giving us the context of season 9. So when I was going through season 9, the participation is already open for round 1, which is presentation round. I think you guys have also you are sharing that presentation. So let us come back to it and discuss about how the first round, the PPT submission round and sealed round went for you guys. What difference you made, and what are the tips and tricks you want to share with the students today? So adding the presentation on the stage, over to you guys.
So I think this is our first slide, the fourth slider that we submitted in the first round. So we specially wanted you guys to see our first presentation so that you guys understand that how the presentation evolved with every round. So first we'll be sharing and explaining you our seed pitch round presentation, and then we'll take it forward to show you the final round presentation. So this is the fourth slider that we made. Uh,
Okay.
Aditya, you want to share anything? Yeah.
Uh, sure. So our idea behind this is, of course, this year there will be 6 problem statements, and we can't go ahead and explain each problem statement and solve the case for you. So what we wanted to do is have a sort of a problem-solving session. So what we want everyone in the audience to do is just to have a quick look at the problem statement. I'll also go through the problem statement with you, and just we'll just process whatever thoughts come into our minds and how we portrayed that throughout the PPT. So basically, in a nutshell, the problem statement was कि बहुत ज़्यादा पैसा, there's too much money lying around in savings account. Excess money is lying around in savings account, which earns a very paltry 2-3% interest. How about we move that money to debt mutual funds, which will give you around 5% at least, which are also very low risk and which also provide a good liquidity source also. This was a problem statement given to us. And the issue behind this problem statement is, if, to give you more context, it's not that debt mutual funds are a new product. Debt mutual funds have been existing for over 15, 20 years, right? So why is that the adoption has not picked up in retail? Right now, the adoption is dominated by corporate houses who park their excess funds in debt mutual funds. So the problem statement, of course, given to us is how do we move that money lying with people, lakhs of crores of rupees, to debt mutual funds?
I think that was the overall. So once that's why it's very important that we understand the context, because in the first round only we got a feedback also that you guys nailed the understanding of the problem set. We got this feedback because I think most of the people just gone through the basic loopholes that are there, understanding the problem statement.
So just to give an example for that, if you put the problem statement of on ChatGPT or Cloud, which I think most of you will do, the first thing that the AI gave us last year is कि distributor का incentive बढ़ा दो, because mutual funds work in this manner. Most of them are sold by a distributor, and if you think about it, it makes sense कि distributor का incentive बढ़ा दो, so they will sell more debt mutual funds, and all in all, अपना adoption will increase, right? It also makes sense. But थोड़ा सा, if we dive deep into that, we realize there's a problem in context with debt mutual funds. Debt mutual funds have razor thin margins. So expense ratio, even if you open on Zerodha Grow, you will see that it's around 0.1%, 0.05%.
0 point.
उसका तुम जो मार्जिन इतना सा तुम और डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर को नहीं दे सकते. Second, another answer we got from ChatGPT, etc., is that कि तुम बैंक के साथ पार्टनर करो. On paper, that sounds good again, because most of the mutual funds are sold by banks. बट अगेन दैट वर्क्स फॉर इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स. बैंक कभी भी डेट म्यूचुअल फंड नहीं बेचेगा. एक तो बेचेगा अपना बेचेगा, सेकंड बजाज का नहीं बेचेगा. व्हाई? बिकॉज बैंक के लिए चीपेस्ट सोर्स ऑफ फंड्स इज द कासा. कासा इज द करंट अकाउंट, सेविंग्स अकाउंट, जो पैसा आप लोग उसके पास रखते हो. सो व्हाई विल अ बैंक कैनिबलाइज इट्स ओन चीपेस्ट सोर्स ऑफ फंड्स फॉर यू? इट वोंट, राइट? सो ये दो क्लियर पॉइंट थे which I think that, as Sajal said, because of which we got the feedback from the panel that we clearly nailed the problem. तुम अंदर तक clearly समझ गए हो. I think this was the crux of it.
Exactly, and that's what make the context setting also. Because once we understand the problem statement, why we are emphasizing on understanding the problem statement? Because this year, uh, a lot of emphasis has been given on the Fin AI or AI aspect of the in the problem statement. We want you to understand that why we want you to think about it, that why AI or how it will impact the overall NBFC industry as such. So, Aditya, if you want to cover
Sure.
anything in this slide, I'll move
Uh,
forward.
so our idea behind this is, of course, ये वाला problem statement आप लोगों का नहीं है, so it would not make much sense अगर हम बहुत deep में explain करें. But our idea is just to give an clear walkthrough of thought process क्या है. So just as I explained, thought process ये था कि पहले तो GPT इस सब पे डाला है, but ये realize हुआ कि वो गलत दे रहा है. So just a tip etc from my side, अगर आप लोगों के problem statement में भी ऐसा आए, if you think कि AI ने कुछ दिया but नहीं, that doesn't make sense, so just go with your gut instinct, go with
So
whatever
common
knowledge you
sense,
have.
yeah, and do your own
हाँ,
research.
because of course AI is encouraged. इस बार का the problem statement I think सब AI है. फिर भी the problem regarding ChatGPT itself is that it gives too much of an overview at times, and it falls weak when we go into the deep of it. I think we can move to the next slide now.
Yeah.
So I think this is a very important slide that everyone should have. So this is basically our primary research. In the first slide, we had some bit of a secondary research. The primary research, secondary research, without which I think a sub problem statement cannot be solved at all. So solution में ये होना ही चाहिए, because कोई भी चीज आप बोल रहे हो, it should have some basis, right? It should have some basis either in the primary research you did or some market examples, some real life use cases. So the primary research we did was, so it's written Jhajjar and Tolda district. This is actually where our college is. So we talked to some business owners and respondents in our colleges. So respondents could be your fellow classmates, it could be teachers, etc. So what we realized the key issues were, पहले तो there's a clear lack of awareness regarding debt mutual funds. किसी को नहीं पता debt mutual funds क्या है. लोगों को लगता है debt mutual fund मतलब stock market, मतलब equity. Debt mutual fund again वो concept नहीं पता. जिसको पता भी है उसको ये नहीं पता है कि कितना ज्यादा फायदा है. उसके लिए draw your attention to the effect of awareness and the investment intent, right side वाला table. So in this, what we did is, first of all, we showed कि only 9.9% लोगों को पता था कि debt mutual fund क्या होता है. First, we asked them on a scale of 1 to 5, how likely are you to invest in debt mutual funds? Of those who knew, on a scale of 1 to 5, it was 1.7 average. After that, we gave him a quick brief key, what are debt mutual funds? How will it help you beat your savings account returns? It has liquidity, it has withdrawability, etc. Basic facts हमने बताया. Post that, their likelihood of investing went to 4.38, like 150% increase, 2.5x हुआ. So इससे क्लियर क्या शो कर रहे हैं हम कि उसको थोड़ा सा इन्फो देने से क्लियर उसकी एक्टिवेशन हो रही है. Then we move to the personas. Bases our research, primary, secondary. We went to the personas. Personas इसमें 4 तरीके के आ रहे हैं. So it is corporate employee, it is old pensioner person, it is a small company, and it is a young person. So in this PPT only, we have highlighted the young person as limited surplus funds. So it won't make much sense for him to invest in debt mutual funds. So this is something you can also do. अगर कोई persona fit in नहीं हो रहा, so you can also draw attention to that. It's not necessary कि हर चीज ही PPT में fit in होनी चाहिए.
And
Anything else?
also, I think in this slide, what our main objective was that, see, once you've done the primary survey or research, it's very important that you analyze it and show it in such a manner that other person can understand. So here, the table that Aditya was talking about, the total respondent effect of the awareness on investment intent. So we made it because it shows you, it gives you a whole idea once you see it. कि, okay, what is the gist of it? So that's what the whole thing is, that you have to make it like that so that एक look में हर चीज समझ आ जाए.
And just to add one more line, आगे के PPT में we have talked about how awareness is a major factor. Again, like we talked about, अगर हम कोई चीज बोल रहे हैं तो there should be some basis. ठीक है, if you think awareness is an important factor, you need to show it. So how have we shown it? We have shown it this using this table कि यार अगर बंदे को समझ आ गया तो 2.5x more likely हो गया वो इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए. So that sets the whole tone, that sets the whole context for whatever stuff comes next. So next slides we have talked about awareness. So just wanted to give you this context.
Okay, then I'll be moving forward.
So this is, I would say, the solution part of our PPT. One page. This is all of the solutions we had thought of combined into
This is
one
basically
page.
again what we were talking about, that awareness. There's a lack of awareness, so how we can counter that, or we can increase the overall awareness. So we came up with these four
And
solutions.
yeah. एंड आइडिया क्या है कि अब सिर्फ अवेयरनेस बोल के ये नहीं कह सकते कि अवेयरनेस बढ़ाना है, उसको थोड़ा आपको डीप में थोड़ा और सोच के थोड़ा ढंग से ऑर्गेनाइज करके दिखाना. सो व्हाट वी डिड इज डिजिटल मार्केटिंग पार्टनरशिप में बजाज इंटीग्रेशन. आल्सो वी broke that pyramid, these channels into different parameters कि सबसे सस्ता कौन सा पड़ेगा, which will have the most reach, which will have the most conversion, also which will allow you to target the most, right? So we came to three one. First is digital marketing. Digital marketing basic, सबको पता होगा कि नॉर्मल मार्केटिंग कर सकता है. But again, we dive deep into what channels are there. So they could be WhatsApp messages, they could be YouTube Shorts, Insta Reels, influencers itne hain. Uh, One thing I would like to draw your attention to is the amount of AI generated images we have used in that. So in our experience, it was a good thing. We went ahead with that. आजकल और ज़्यादा अच्छी photos बन जाती हैं. Uh, but if you are able to see the HDFC savings rate, interest rate photo, so our idea behind this is to clearly show कि यार हम जो सोच रहे हैं वो दिखेगा कैसे. So our idea was कि अगर कोई बोलेगा कि यार HDFC में savings rate कितना है, उसका क्या मतलब है, उसके पास HDFC में पैसा है ना, तो हमें उसको मूव करना है डेट म्यूचुअल फंड में. वहीं पे अगर हम स्पॉन्सर्ड एड दिखाते हैं या SEO समथिंग, दी पर्सन विल बी एबल टू सी अच्छा डेट म्यूचुअल फंड में मैं 2x रिटर्न ले सकता हूँ, अच्छा यहाँ क्लिक करके ले सकता हूँ.
कि
So
ऐसा भी होता है,
if
ये
you
भी
can,
ऑप्शन अवेलेबल है.
yes, so if you can, wherever possible, try to visualize whatever you're saying. Because what we have felt in our experiences, sometimes the thoughts are more clear in your head versus दूसरे वाले को क्या समझ आता है. But a photo solves all that. So this was a digital marketing part of it. Second is partnerships. So partnerships with various fintech platforms and some shows also. We have given example of KBC. So our idea was कि मास में कैसे जाए, मास में जाने के लिए KBC etc. हो गया. Fintech platforms हमने तब के जो टॉप फिनटेक प्लेटफॉर्म्स है, ग्रो, पेटीएम एक्सेट्रा, उसमें डेट म्यूचुअल फंड इम्बेड हो जाएगा, उनको नोटिफिकेशन जाएगी whenever they have excess money in their bank account, and we used to call these notifications smart nudges. So this is something we have taken throughout till the grand finale PPT also. We'll talk about it later. Last is the Bajaj integration. This is something I think can help almost all of you, because you have to realize you're taking part in a case competition of the Bajaj Finserv group, not the individual problem statement you're choosing. It's not that you're choosing Bajaj Health, you're stuck on Bajaj Health. You can leverage the Bajaj ecosystem also. So Bajaj has crores of customers, tons of data. उसको कैसे यूज करें. So our idea was this only कि यार बजाज इतने सारे लोन्स देता है, इंश्योरेंस देता है, क्या क्या नहीं देता है, उसके थ्रू वी क्रॉस सेल डेट म्यूचुअल फंड्स. Also, Bajaj has a very good app, Bajaj Finserv super app, it's called. So it has crores of active users. Again, उसको कैसे leverage करें, we have talked more about in the final presentation. I
Yeah, I
think we
think
can.
you basically covered it all. I think the next presentation we covered the unit economics of whatever
Yeah.
we were suggesting, because it's very important that you give numbers. Why are you telling that? What will be the impact, financial impact? Because in the end, business, if you want to implement any solution, there should be a tangible numbers that you should have. So we showed it here, channel-wise CAC breakdown is there. Then we showed the profit estimate per investor. We made the scenarios. Why should we consider? What is our USP? So I think overall in this slide, we covered all those things.
Great. Uh, One thing, Domes, like to draw your attention is regarding the CAC, customer acquisition cost. So you see, we have talked about variety of channels. So from WhatsApp messages, which are very cheap, to more expensive, such as Google search, because we move to the top, or how do we partner with various platforms. So the cost is also varied. So our idea right now is not to provide the cheapest source, it is also show the diversity in our thinking. I think, which is something our team discuss a lot on, is not to just focus on the cheapest stuff, etc., but also uh, to show how much we have worked, how much we have thought about. And in the end, if we say, for example, fintech platforms a partner karna is 150 rupees, मैं सिर्फ WhatsApp message क्यों ना दूं? So this is something which can also be discussed in the final presentation also. in the first stage of the competition, I think the idea should also be to show how much work you have done, how much in-depth work you have done. So I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's the last slide of our first seat round pitch presentation.
Thank you guys for presenting this. Just one quick question from our end is that so what are the credible resources that you have to use to get this data, and how did you derive the persona part? So you have talked about corporate and then corporate employee and then young people, but you did not talk about HNIs. So how did you arrive at the persona? So these are the two questions majorly, and then we can move on to Series B presentation.
So what you mentioned about HNIs, so HNIs can also be corporate employees, right? And our idea, why did we not explicitly choose HNIs is, we discussed this clearly. HNI is most probably a real HNI, would have a wealth planner with him. कोई उसका PMS manage कर रहा होगा, कोई उसका portfolio manage कर रहा होगा. So seasoned professional would know that he has to invest some money in debt mutual funds. Our idea was to
They already
target
know
that
about the
segment.
debt fund.
Yes.
Mhm.
So they have a whole team, a very UHNI or tri net worth individual would have a
And
whole
the
team managing
percentage is
these
also
funds.
very small, Aditya. If
Right.
you think it
Mhm.
that way, the percentage of HNI is also very small. They already have the
Yep.
resources and the know-how that what is debt fund, how you can
Right.
utilize them.
And Abhay, to your second question regarding the resources we referred to, it's actually mentioned in the first PPT as well as in the grand finale. On all these slides, we have ensured that we have mentioned the sources for all the stuff we have talked about in the bottom of the slide. I think we missed talking about this. This is something I would recommend to
Yeah,
everyone.
and the last,
Like we said, everything should have a clear basis. And if you're quoting some numbers, mostly people would be doing research on AI platforms. Try to get the AI platforms to deliver the sources as well, and you can refer to these sources in the PPT.
I don't think there is a single platform or source where you can research.
Okay.
It depends on your problem statement to problem
Right.
statement. We
So
have
ours
gone
was
through
the mutual fund
multiple, yeah,
industry. A huge source we referred to was the AMFI, Association Mutual Funds in India. Again, someone for the health department or the insurance would refer to the IRDA and so on.
Yeah, got it. So we'll now move on to the final presentation that you guys presented. So I'm bringing that on the screen. Over to you guys.
So I'll start with this problem statement. It is exactly the same thing we have written in the part one PP, round one PPT. It's the same problem statement, of course, ki there's too much money in savings account. How do we move that to debt mutual funds? So one thing we changed, overarching meta theme we changed from the round one PPT to the grand finale PPT is the readability and clarity of the PPT. So right now here you see the small things, but I just wanted to highlight that is how we have made the rethinking distribution wala heading a bit bigger. We have also made it clearer. So इसमें क्या है कोई एक बार में लाइन पढ़ के समझ सकता है कि we are suggesting something new. One line clearly tells you that debt mutual funds demand a new approach. That is the old model, the traditional offline mutual fund distributor model would not work. So why would it not? Two headings are given. One, the razor thin margins, and second, banks would not cannibalize their CASA, so banks would not promote debt mutual funds.
and just for the heads up now, we were able to do this because we were not bound by the limit or the number of the slide that we have to make. Because in the later rounds, for now you guys only have to make a whole slide, but later round you have your freedom to make how many slides you want. That's why we came up with this thing that how to make it much more visible, readable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and
continue.
right now you see 0.05 dash 0.4%, and a 1 is written in the superscript. So clearly we have given the sources for each number. Wherever possible, we have tried to give sources. So direct plan adoption, the second source is also given, our Economic Times article. And if you were to click that source wala part, you would be drawn to the website. Okay, then we can
Yeah.
So because this was the grand finale, and we again, as Sajal mentioned, we did not have a clear restriction on the number of slides, so we wanted to give full context to the jury, to the audience. So because our problem statement is how do we move people to debt mutual funds? So we start with क्या है debt mutual fund. So debt mutual funds are of three types. We show to the jury that हमने वो research करी है कि debt mutual fund तीन type के हैं. उसमें से we have chosen the most matching attribute for us, that is a short-term debt mutual fund. And usme we, even in the short-term debt mutual fund, there are variety of sub mutual fund categories. In that, we have also chosen liquid, overnight, and money market.
Again, I think we did this, and in the next slide also you will see the context setting. All this is going is the context
Hmm.
setting. We did it because what happens that when you're working on a solution, sometimes you get too focused on the solution that you lost track of the
Absolutely.
problem. And that's why the whole setting we did, so that the person who will be seeing our presentation or we'll be
Hmm.
presenting them, they also understand what is the context of the problem, what is the actual problem that we are dealing with, so that
So,
when we'll present our solution, they'll be able to understand better.
so simply बोलो ना तो होता क्या कभी कभी because you're too much focused on the presentation you're making, so you're able to understand everything. तुम्हें पता अच्छा इसका ये मतलब है, इसका ये मतलब है. But if you put yourself in the shoes of the jury, which have seen your presentation for the first time, so they, you have to ensure that उनको हर एक चीज समझ आ रही है, right? So debt mutual fund context, you have it in your head, तुम्हारी टीम को अच्छी तरह पता है. But do the jury are the jury also on the same page as you? For that, you have to ensure proper context setting, like Sajal mentioned. Market landscape also we have given right now. So this is basically the tailwinds and the headwinds we had. Headwinds
Again, the
marked in
market
the red
landscape
color,
is
rest of the
relevant.
tailwinds. So this is basically we were showing that this is a good time to get into the debt mutual fund space. Everything is in your favor. Economic, government, industrial, technology factors are in your favor. And international parallels, China का एक हमने दिया था.
Yeah, I think Yang Hong. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then the primary research, we although changed the way how it looks,
Hmm.
because again we had the freedom to, we were not constrained by the number of slides.
So regarding the primary research, one thing we want to talk about is how we changed the design, like Sajal mentioned. So this is, we watched the last year's masterclass. So last year ISB was a winner, and we actually got inspiration from them on how they very beautifully displayed the numbers. So hota kya hai, everything in a PPT to some extent is also about drawing attention to the right things, right? Either in the key findings, we have made the main part, that is the कितना percent क्या था, the biggest font. तो बंदे को क्लियरली दिख रहा है हम किस चीज की बात कर रहे हैं. ऑल्सो below that we have directly given verbatins from our conversations with the people. So this is something again we drew inspiration from the ISB masterclass, and I think it played a good role in making sure that the jury was also able to properly catch whatever we were talking about.
And the same goes with the
So,
second one also. So we, for current accounts, we made one for the savings second.
so during our research, we realized that, of course, current account, the small business owners are a persona of ours, but different research will be needed as compared to the regular people we are talking, as compared to the small business owner. Isla we have displayed those on a different slide. I think next we can move.
Yeah.
So this is the personas, as we mentioned. We have a different current account persona and the savings account persona. So we were quite appreciated on this slide. We were appreciated on the depth and the clarity of each persona we had. So the salaried individual, this is something you would see is almost the same as from the personas in the round one PPT, but more clearly defined. So pehla kya hai? Salaried individual. So what are we talking about? We are saying that that person has some money, but maybe his money is eroding due to inflation in FD or in savings account. So we'll move him to debt mutual fund. Second is a goal-oriented saver. So this can be anyone who is saving money for something. अगले एक दो साल में he is planning to buy a car, maybe they are planning to get married, or so on, or maybe they are going to put a down payment for a house. So for 1 or 2 years, you cannot put money in the equity markets because the chances of a positive or a good return go down quite much. So what do people do? They open a RD, they open a FD. So हम क्या कह रहे हैं, हम उन लोगों को target करेंगे. Third is a pensioner. So this is someone who purely depends on their FD interests for their source of funds for living their life. And last is the current account. In this, we focused on specifically professionals because our idea was during our research we realized is debt mutual funds would not be suitable for business owners which have high inflows and outflows. Basically, working capital needs are very high. किसके लिए ज्यादा सूटेबल होगा? प्रोफेशनल आर्किटेक्ट, लॉयर, डॉक्टर्स, जिनका फिक्स्ड है, ज्यादा कॉस्ट पे नहीं जाता है, उनका पैसा आ रहा है, उनको पता है, दे जस्ट नीड समवेयर टू पार्क दैट फंड्स. You talked about the pain points for all of them. Debt funds as a solution is a one line. How do we? This is basically the positioning statement. And bottom page is a target size for all. A detailed calculation. Appendix में full page calculation है
We did a
for all of
guesstimate
them. How
on
did
each
we
of
arrive
them.
to the number?
Exactly. We did the guesstimate on each of them that what will be their target size. Again, it's all about the numbers. If you not show the numbers, then it's uh, how they'll believe it. And that's why we did the guesstimate for each of them that what will be the target size, how you gonna target that.
And just some extra info in the final presentation, we were also asked to show how did you get these numbers. So make sure whatever stuff you're putting in the PPT, you're clear about it. कुछ ऐसे वो नहीं है, हवा हवा का नहीं है, तुम्हें अच्छी तरह पता है जो डरा है. So I would say this is what was a star of a PPT. It was also mentioned by the jury. They really like this part. So again, थोड़ी देर पहले हमने क्या बोला? You have to also ensure that whatever clarity you have in your mind transfers to the judge, transfers to the jury. So हमने क्या कहा? We defined the readiness curve. हमने क्या कहा? सारे financial products जो भी market में they sit in between one in three of these stages. इसमें से किसी एक में बैठा होगा. So this is awareness, belief, and activation. So what did we say? We say savings account, for example, have universal awareness, automatic activation. सबको पता है बैंक अकाउंट क्या होता है, सबको पता है कि उसको जरूरी है, सबको पता है कि खोलना भी कैसे है. कोई किसी को जाके आजकल बेच नहीं रहा होता बैंक अकाउंट. फॉर ऑन द अदर साइड देयर इज इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स. काफी लोगों को ऑलमोस्ट पता है उससे इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड क्या है. कुछ को बिलीफ है कि यार मैं मूव कर लेता हूँ, कुछ को नहीं है. एंड सम देयर इज एडवर्टाइजमेंट, दे आर ट्राइंग टू गेट देम एक्टिवेटेड. Debt mutual funds, we said, were at the start of this readiness score. So right now, people do not know what are debt mutual funds. So what the roadblock we have talked about is what are debt mutual funds and how do we solve that? Mass awareness campaign, basically digital marketing. Second is, okay, once a person has awareness, the next step is belief. बंदे को पता है डेट म्यूचुअल फंड है, अब वो कह रहा है कि मैं क्यों मूव करूं, व्हाई शुड आई मूव. ठीक है, मेरे को मूव करना है, हाउ मच अमाउंट शुड आई मूव, दैट इज आल्सो अ गुड क्वेश्चन फॉर दैट. फॉर दैट वी इंट्रोड्यूस अ न्यू प्रोडक्ट कॉल्ड फिनोवा. The next 3-4 slides are about that, so I'll not get too much deep into that. Last is activation. So activation is what? तुमने बंदे को बता दिया डेट म्यूचुअल फंड क्या है, तुमने बंदे को बता दिया कि यार तुम्हारे लिए अच्छा क्यों है, चल तुम्हें कितना पैसा डालना है ये भी बता दिया. नेक्स्ट इज बंदे को लाऊं कैसे प्लेटफॉर्म पे. दैट इज I would say the biggest roadblock we were facing. I think Sajal will talk about it, how the help we received in the jamming session after this. But again, activation क्या है? How do we get that person onboarded to the debt mutual fund platform? So for this, we talked about in the round one PPT also, smart nudges is what we have relied on.
So yeah,
Sajal.
and I think we were able to come up with the Finnova and understand. It's overall very important that you understand that वो problem statement आया क्यों क्यों दिया है company ने वो problem statement.
Hmm.
If they have given it, they might be facing something. So it's very
Hmm.
important that you understand कि business context क्या है इसका, how what problem that company is facing. So we were trying to figure it out. हम लोगों ने कहीं तक हम एक हद तक पहुंचे. But in the jamming session, we get a very good hint that okay, there is a saving plus platform that the company is working on, and we dig deep into it, and we found that okay, account aggregator framework is there, which the company is using, and what are the nuances of it. But again, the business context, why that problem statement is there, what are the issues
Hmm.
the company is facing. For example, this time, if too much emphasis is there on the AI part, you need to understand what are the problems are there with the AI. It shouldn't be like यार ये वो type किया ऊपर से जो दिख रहा है. What are the implementation issues, and then what are the actual impact. Should not be only a creamy layer या ऊपर से देख के है ना बस
Hmm.
दिखा दिया. But actually अगर हम AI का कुछ प्रोडक्ट सजेस्ट कर रहे हैं या फिर हम बना के दे रहे हैं, तो what are the roadblocks या फिर बॉटम उसके वो रहेंगे. So yeah, we come up with this thing. We introduced the Finnova platform. So go ahead, Aditya. You want?
So first, I'll give you some background on what Savings Plus is. Savings Plus was an existing Bajaj AMC ka product. So what did this do is it showed you signed up onto this. So again, to understand this, you'll have to understand what is account aggregator framework. So account aggregator kya hai? This is something introduced by the RBI. This is basically an ecosystem that allows different financial entities to share your, that is the customer's data in a private, secure, etc. वो सब अच्छी तरह privacy ensured manner. So इसमें होता क्या है, you sign up onto this, and if you have ever taken a loan recently, almost all of the NBFCs banks have moved to this account aggregator framework. So what happens is you sign up. It is done via Anumati account aggregator framework. You give an OTP, and the financial entity is able to read your bank statements and whatever data they ask for the last 6 months, 12 months, etc. Whatever you have agreed to. तो इससे हो क्या रहा था, व्हाट सेविंग्स प्लस वाज डूइंग, तो उनने मान लो दे टुक सजल्स ओटीपी कि सजल वांट्स टू साइन अप टू सेविंग्स प्लस, सजल ने ओटीपी दिया, एंड देन दे वर एबल टू रीड सजल का बैंक अकाउंट पिछले 1 साल का. दे सॉ दैट कि यार ऑन एवरेज सजल के पास 15-20 हजार महीने का एक्स्ट्रा होता है. तो वेन एवर वो थ्रेशोल्ड क्रॉस होता है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल उसको देखा कि इस बार सजल के पास 50,000 है, तो मैं उसको एक नच भेज दूं कि यार तुम प्लेटफॉर्म पे आ जाओ, अपना इन्वेस्ट कर लो. वैसे ही रिवर्स क्या करता था वो, वेन एवर यू साइनिंग अप टू सेविंग्स प्लस, लाइक आई टोल्ड यू सजल के पास 15-20,000 का सरप्लस है, तो दे शोड यू कि यार आइडियल अमाउंट तुम इतना डाल सकते हो, बट दिस इज ऑल व्हाट सेविंग्स प्लस डिड. सो व्हाट वी थॉट वाज कि rather than suggesting something entirely new, Finnova was supposed to be just some addition on the existing product. No extra step was needed, no extra data was needed. Sara data which Savings Plus was already collecting, we try to give more insights into that. I think we should move to the next part to explain
And I
better.
think in this slide, because it was tech heavy, we made sure that there's a visual flow to it. If you look
Hmm.
into it, we ensured that there's a visual flow that at least people understand the main things. What is Innova, what we are suggesting, because this is the thing that we were introducing and this first time in the slide. So these were the
So this
features.
is,
We basically made a
yeah.
wireframe of it, that the dashboard, how the dashboard will look, the expense breakdown, and then we also suggested a financial wellness calculator so that
So our
the
idea
person
was
would be
that
using it.
you're already collecting data, right? Savings plus आपके बैंक अकाउंट का डेटा ले रहा है, एंड वापस में क्या बता रहा है, बस इतना बता रहा है कि आप कितना इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हो, बट डेटा उसके पास पूरा आ रहा है. सो हमने सोचा कि यार उस डेटा से और क्या कर सकते हैं. सो उस डेटा से और क्या कर सकते हैं, आपको एक्सपेंस ब्रेकडाउन दे सकते हैं. जैसे इफ यू आर एवर ऑन क्रेड एंड यू यूज क्रेडिट कार्ड, सो क्रेड आपको एंड वॉट एवर प्लेटफॉर्म यू हैव, वो आपको क्लियर ब्रेकडाउन देता है, आपने इस महीने शॉपिंग पे इतना खर्चा, फूड पे इतना खर्चा, ग्रोसरीज पे इतना खर्चा, एक्सेट्रा. अगर फिनोवा के पास या सेविंग्स प्लस के पास आपका बैंक अकाउंट का एक्सेस है, इट कैन गिव यू द सेम थिंग. सो आवर आइडिया बिहाइंड दिस वाज, कस्टमर डेट म्यूचुअल फंड के लिए आने के बजाय कस्टमर आएगा देखने के लिए कि यार मेरा एक्सपेंस क्या रहता है, अपना फाइनेंशियल बेसिकली वेलनेस के लिए आएगा वो, कैल कि मेरे को कितना सेविंग करना है, मैं कितने खर्चे करता हूँ, वो समझने के लिए आएगा. And our part main was dashboard. If you see the circle part also, a clear CTA is given, a clear call to action is given. Here last year you could have earned 12,000 more. Acha, and then the person will think, how will I earn 12,000 more? And then we'll say, okay, click here, explore savings plus, and then the person is onboarded. I think yeah, we can move to the next slide.
Yeah. So the main crux is that we try
Hmm.
to make it as simple to understand as it can be. If a layman is also watching it, they are able to understand what Finnova is, how it will look. That's it. So this is a proposed working of it. You want to go deep into it, Aditya? I think we already
Not
mostly covered
much,
the
but I think we have covered this. It is built on the existing account aggregator framework of Savings Plus. The only thing that changes is now Finnova will also give analytics and proper nudges to the user. Rest is same. So working example, I think we should explain what's the clarity aa jayegi. So we are saying that Naresh usually has 40,000 in his account and spends 30,000 per month. एकदम से 1 लाख का उसको बोनस आया, maybe from say a salary or whatever, and the model sees that yeah, so this is something which is taught in MBA also, right? Mean plus 1.5 sigma. So इसमें हम क्या दिखा रहे हैं कि ये एकदम से बहुत ज्यादा उसके पास पैसा आ गया. So this is something irregular and we flag that as excess idle balance. Finnova flags this excess, sends a nudge कि यार you have this much excess money, invest this into debt mutual funds and you'll save 10,000 for example yearly. And that covers it.
give example. I think we
Yeah.
especially give this example because we knew
Hmm.
that it's heavy what we have suggested, so that in a plain language the other person is able to understand what we are saying. It shouldn't be misjudged or other people is not able to understand. We did not want to leave that gap also.
Hmm.
So that's why we specifically put working example, that if a person will read this line, they're able to understand what we want. Moving
So this
forward.
is Finnova for the current account as we talked about. और हमारे दो major सेगमेंट बन रहे थे. वन वाज अ सेविंग्स अकाउंट जिसके अंदर 3 और पर्सोना से, वन वाज अ करंट अकाउंट. सो व्हाट वी वांट टू शो इज कि वी हैव नॉट मिस्ड एनी पर्सोना वी हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट राइट नाउ. अगर हमने करंट अकाउंट की बात करी एंड आल्सो इन द प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट करंट अकाउंट वाज क्लियरली मेंशन्ड, राइट सर. सो आवर पॉइंट इज कि अगर प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट में कुछ मांगा हुआ है, ट्राई कि तुम उसको फुलफिल कर पाओ. सो वी आल्सो पोजीशनड आवर प्रोडक्ट फिनोवा फॉर द करंट अकाउंट यूजर. इधर डॉक्टर का एग्जांपल दिया हुआ है. फॉर एग्जांपल डॉक्टर मीरा, शी इज एबल टू सी यार पिछले 7 दिन में कितना पैसा आया, पिछले 7 दिन में कितना कितना पैसा गया. शी इज एबल टू सी इनसाइट्स मंथली. एंड ऑल्सो वी हैव flagged some challenge in the bottom right part. Challenge क्या था? Not all banks तब तक had signed up for the account aggregator ecosystem, and we are also given a solution उसके नीचे. So what you can draw from this is to show the depth whenever possible. This is something which was not asked for. ऐसा नहीं था कि हमें बार बार उन्होंने बोला कि यार तुम्हारी लिमिटेशन क्या है प्रोजेक्ट की, अपने सोल्यूशन की वो भी दिखाओ. बट वी वेंट अहेड विद दैट, दिखाने के लिए विद दैट दिस इज अ 360 सोल्यूशन. हमने पॉजिटिव्स भी सोचे, नेगेटिव्स भी सोचे, एंड जो नेगेटिव्स आ रहे हैं उसको एड्रेस करने के लिए भी कुछ सोचा.
And also we covered the challenge also. What are the current challenges? We covered everything that is there.
So this is awareness. So a few slides back, we talked about a readiness curve. It was awareness, belief, and activation. So belief was pura Finnova, which we talked about. Now we come to the awareness part. That is कि कैसे किसी को बताएं डेट म्यूचुअल फंड क्या है. And like we have written in the top part, most people equate safety with savings and FD. एंड लगता है रिस्क मतलब म्यूचुअल फंड है ना. तो डेट म्यूचुअल फंड हमें क्लियर करना है कि डेट म्यूचुअल फंड इतना रिस्की नहीं है. It is almost at par with savings and FD in terms of the risk it has, but it gives you more return. So how do we educate the customer about that? Again, we have used AI generated images, many of them same as the round one. So just हमने billboard. So it is not, if your solution is focused on AI, it is not हर चीज में AI होना चाहिए. So we have relied on traditional marketing sources also. Basically mass awareness, billboard use करा हमने, social media पे ad देना use करा, and again Google search पे SEO की भी ad use करी. So this is again about the belief. Belief was Spinoza, and what is belief again? Belief is बंदे को बताना है कि why should he move. उसको समझ आ गया debt mutual fund क्या है. Next part is why should that person move his money to debt mutual funds. So this is more in depth. This is, we suggested that Bajaj open a YouTube financial wellness channel. Many of you would have seen that Zerodha के पास channel है. Most of the brokerage channels have opened their own YouTube channels. They have millions of followers. Something Bajaj can also do, and people can come onto that platform, ask their queries, get help sorting their finances. Second is investor education partnership, basically explainer videos on money control. It is straightforward. Last is corporate financial wellness session. So this is sponsored by Bajaj AMC. So what we'll do in this, वहाँ पे जाएंगे corporates में, and what we realize is also talking amongst ourselves is that uh, even if you have money, not everyone is clear on how do we manage that money, how do we save money, है ना? So that is the same for salaried people as well. So we'll go to corporate houses, we'll go to offices, we'll hold workshops, seminars, explaining our product as well, getting people onboarded. And so what we'll do in that process is, of course, customer conversion, and at the same time positioning Bajaj AMC as a trusted advisor on financial health. So last is the activation part. Like Sajal mentioned, this was, I think, entirely new. The heading and all entirely new from the round one PPT. As he said, jamming session where we got a clear insight is you're very clear on educating the customer. You're very clear on everything else, but you're missing a major thing, that is customer को activate कैसे करें, customer को अपने platform पे कैसे लाएं. I think that will apply to almost all of your PPTs, because in the end, it is about getting the customer onboarded to the Bajaj ecosystem. Whatever solution you have to cover it end to end. That is, customer को समझाना solution क्या है, से लेके customer को solution के platform तक लाना.
I think
So for
that's the
this,
last part of the funnel. In the
yeah,
end, you want the activation.
and otherwise उसके बिना your solution is incomplete. This is the feedback we got during the jamming session, and I think that proved instrumental for us. So यहाँ पे
Yeah.
क्या बात करी, credit पे हम partner करेंगे, and basically various fintech partnership, credit, UPI apps, etc. We
Yeah.
can move to the next one.
So
So uh, again, a part of the PPT which you might be able to use for your presentation as well is a Bajaj ecosystem. So this is something which we were again credited on, and how we utilize organic growth. So Bajaj ka app, as you can see, has 10 crore downloads. Tons of people are using it. So we are saying that why not insert the solution we have presented on the Bajaj app itself? It gives you cross-sell opportunities. I think we can move straightforward.
I think from this slide, especially what you guys can, a big takeaway would be that to understand what current platform that the company is using. This Bajaj Finserv app, we downloaded it, we gone through it,
Mhm.
then we made this wireframe. In the current context, the FinAI understand, go through the annual reports, talk to Bajaj employees that what are the AI initiatives that are being taken and what are the problems that they face or how good is it, what is the good points of it, where it is lacking, so that you also have an understanding that okay, overall how does it look, the AI ecosystem or the FinAI
Yeah.
transformation.
So this is the organic customer growth. That is Bajaj के super app पे we have talked about Finnova. Finally, कितने customer हम लाएंगे? So this is quite a detailed breakdown. Again, scenario wise, we talked about कितने active users हैं Bajaj के app पे. उसमें से कितने देखेंगे, उसमें से कितने क्लिक करेंगे, क्लिक करने के बाद कितने अकाउंट एग्रीगेटर का पार्ट करेंगे, उसके बाद फाइनली कितने लोग साइन अप करेंगे. एंड अगेन वी सेड कि साइन अप करने के बाद भी हर बंदा इन्वेस्ट नहीं करता, तो कितने करेंगे. सो दिस इज क्वाइट डिटेल्ड.
And
बॉटम पे
clearly
assumption
mention
दिए
our
हुए हैं.
assumption also, yeah.
Yeah, so I think assumption, yes, I mentioned always do this funnel analysis. That is very good. But at the same time, have your assumptions, your basis, your source for it in clear. कुछ ऐसे हवा का नहीं होना चाहिए. The judges are very smart in that context. They'll catch you and दिक्कत होगा. So इधर हमने हर एक का assumption का number जो है वो दिया and उसका source दिया. And this is again bottom right पे a graph that visually represents it.
And in the last round, you will be presenting it to the group CEOs.
Hmm.
So we presented it to, I think four CEOs were there. We presented. So you just can't go lightly कि ठीक है कुछ भी डाल दिया हो जाएगा.
So this is a customer acquisition cost. A few we have shown. This is very more detailed as compared to it was in round. So funnel, I just give an overview. It is impression. कितने लोगों ने देखा, से कितने लोगों ने क्लिक करा, कितने लोगों ने डाउनलोड करा, कितने लोगों ने रजिस्टर करा, कितने लोगों को बताया कि तुम पे आइडल मनी है. Not everyone will have idle money. Some people may not be that affluent. से कितने लोगों ने रजिस्टर करा, and finally how many of them invested. Right? So you see 6-7 layers हैं
So
इसमें,
for each
and we have,
channel, we have the funnel. We made the funnel
yeah,
and then showed it.
yeah. I think this
So
is too
moving
detailed.
forward, this is the implementation roadmap because it was mentioned in the problem statement. Again, go through the problem statement. If anything is mentioned there, please make sure that you cover it. At least give a slide to it.
Implementation roadmap. So when if you are able to go to the final round, you'll get a mail. Mail may clear deliverables will be written. So in that mail, we were asked to give a clear implementation roadmap, risk compliance, etc., which Sadal will show in the next slide. So we have covered that as well.
So this is the risk and
Risk and
compliance
compliance.
cycle. What are the risks with it? Whatever the solution that we showed. So yeah, I
So this
think
is too
we,
detailed. Yeah.
yeah.
So we are open for questions now. So regarding the deliverables, so for right now in the problem statement, you would have gotten some deliverables. Make sure you're following each and every one of that clearly. Kuch bhi mat chhodna, otherwise you might get rejected. And as you move on to the further rounds, you'll get a mail, you'll get, or maybe it will be uploaded on Grad Partners about the deliverables you'll be getting in there. So with each round, the deliverables change. The deliverables get more detailed, more granular.
More
So
detail.
ensure that you're following it all.
Yeah, got it, guys. So, was there any scoring defined basis on their deliverables? For example, if your slide is containing all the aspects, was there some scoring defined to each one
So
of the
in our year,
deliverables?
explicit scoring was not defined.
Explicit not
Mentioned.
there, but of course there will be a weightage to it. You can't miss out any of the aspect to it because
And
if they have told us, then they are important. Those deliverables are important. That's why they have mentioned it.
this is something one doubt we had also कि यार किस पे कितना weightage दे. So like Sajal said, there's no slide count restriction in the final slide. So सब पे अच्छा weightage दो यार. हर चीज पूरी cover करो. You should not miss anything, and you should have utmost clarity about everything that is there in your presentation.
Okay, so I'll just ask you a question from my end, and then I'll hope over to comment section. Then the first question is regarding any experience that you want to share with the students. Your final present, not final. Let's talk about the seed presentation now. So, what happened in the seed presentation round? What were the questions, what was your experience, and then you can talk about Series A, Series B rounds.
Sure. So I'll go one step even more behind that. So I will say first of all, बहुत ध्यान से pay proper attention when you're choosing a problem statement. So I think we spent quite a few days on that to choosing the proper problem statement that we knew we have the most edge on. We knew a lot of stuff about that, and we had a clear idea on what we do. So of course that is step zero. अच्छी problem statement. Regarding the seed pitch, we showed you the PPT we presented. Uh, Honestly, in the first presentation, we did not get any questions. Mostly, it was just applause from the jury
Applause,
on
yeah,
how,
for the better
yeah, you're
understanding
the
of the language
verbatim what they said was you're the only team which has clearly fully understood the problem. But
problem.
usme se what I want to highlight is how they focused not on the solution in the first part. They focused कि यार तुम्हें पूरा समझ आया कि नहीं आया. And fortunately for us, we were able to understand it properly. Moving to the next PPTs, in each PPT, it will happen with you all also. As and when you do more and more research, your PPT would change, and that is okay. And in our experiences, that did not prove to be a roadblock for us. Every time we iterated, we added new stuff. We deleted some old stuff also, which we thought was not up to the mark that the judges would expect. And finally, as we moved to the grand finale round, uh, honestly, we were clear on every word we had written in the PPT. We were clear. We edited a lot. We changed second round and the third round PPT quite much. I think around 40-50% content was new. So one thing the audience can draw from that is not to be afraid to change the PPT. It is okay. As long as you're adding new stuff, the stuff is credible, you have knowledge about it, you should go ahead and be ready to accept the changes.
And I think I forgot to talk about the jamming session. It's very important that after
Mm.
series A round, so there is a jamming session where you get to talk with the leaders. They'll guide you. So make sure you are ready with it. You're ready with your questions because they will help you. They will give you hint. Take it
Yeah,
seriously because it helped us a lot. They
yeah,
gave us a hint. We took
100%.
it and we literally changed a lot. Almost 50% of our, as Aditya said, almost 50% of our presentation
Easily.
we changed.
Yeah, another thing we forgot to mention during the grand finale, पहला क्वेश्चन तो हमें आया था कि यार तुम्हारा कोई इंसाइडर बंदा है क्या? Then we laughed and of course he said नहीं, and why are you asking? He said कि यार you're clearly on the line that we were on. तुम वही प्रोडक्ट लेके आ रहे हो यार जो हम सोच रहे थे. Basically तुम्हें पता था हम क्या सोच रहे हैं. How did you know? तुम्हें कैसे पता था? And उस पे actually Sajal had found a YouTube channel of Bajaj EMC CEO. So I think this the audience people can also do. Try to search on YouTube if your CEOs or anyone from your company has gone on YouTube and talked about what they are thinking. So for us, Ganesh Mohan sir had gone on YouTube and talked a lot about savings plus product, and we made it the hero of our PPT. उसके around ही solution बनाया and वही present हुआ finally.
I think that was a great suggestion from your end. So one question from the comment section: that what is the number of ideal slide one should create? So let's talk about first the seed round and then series A and B rounds.
I
So I
think
think
for seed
series
round,
around
it's
there were
already fixed.
yeah
There's a restriction for it, and in my view, after that, it's all depends on your understanding. If you want 20 slides, go ahead with it. If everything is getting covered in 20 slides, go ahead with it. We made what 27 slides. We had almost 6 7 slides of appendix because we were very sure what we were doing, and we were sure that these many slides are needed. So it's don't restrict yourself कि यार इतनी slide होगी इतनी slide होगी. If you think it's necessary, put it there in the slide.
Okay, so more questions from the solution end. I don't think that will be relevant since the problem statement is going to change now. So one last question from my end is that if you are the jury of let's say seed round, or you are the
Hmm.
person who is qualifying the teams through their PPT, so what all aspects you will look after in a PPT?
So first is have they properly adhered to the instructions, etc. they were given. For example, as Sajal mentioned, seed round, what I think I have 4 slide restriction. So have they crossed that or not? Again, if they have mentioned something, have they given proper sources for that?
Like
If they have talked about a solution on any research they have given, so what is the source of that research? Is it secondary research? If so, have they given the sources? Is there primary research? Okay, is there primary research if they've displayed that properly? So I think this is basic stuff. Apart from that, it would be if they've left any part of the PPT blank. So I have heard some people do that, and they might get rejected for this. So you have to ensure that each and every part that was asked by the Bajaj team is properly filled, and all the instructions are adhered to.
Got it. Anything, Sajal, you would like to add?
No, I think Aditya covered most of it. Just it shouldn't be like कि कुछ भी हवा में आके आपने put कर दिया. There should be a backing, put references, put
So
things in appendix, have primary and secondary research, like basic things that you do. So yeah,
Okay.
I think we
So
covered most of
with
the
this,
things.
with this, we would like to close the session of today. Thank you, Sajal and Aditya, for joining us and talking about your solution, the problem statement of season 8. I am definitely sure this will help a lot of students of cracking season 9 problem statement. And thank you all the audience for joining us here. I would request you guys to go through Grad Partners website, and if you have not registered, register now, because it will give you an experience of solving a problem statement which you will never forget. I think the same
yeah, that is
thing
true. That is true.
uh, yeah, with our speakers today. So thank you everyone. Have a great season 9 journey. Bye bye. Signing off now.
Sure.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank
Thank you
you.
for joining.
Thank
All
you,
the
everyone.
best.